All right. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. And here we go. What's up, everybody? It's Tony Tubes, the Dakota Podcasting Experience. I'm going to jump right into it. Just a few minutes ago, Kelloland News. That's down in Sioux Falls for people who aren't from around these parts. Governor Kristi Noem vetoes industrial hemp bill. Just hours after South Dakota lawmakers approved an industrial hemp bill measure, Governor Kristi Noem rejected it. Noem vetoed HB 1191 on Monday. State lawmakers from both political parties had defied Noem as the State House of Representatives voted 58-8 on Monday afternoon to legalize industrial hemp in South Dakota. But the sun hadn't even set yet Monday evening when the Republican governor cracked right back with a veto that landed just as hard. Overriding a veto takes 2/3 majority in each chamber, 47 in the House and 24 in the Senate. The Senate twice last week mustered margins of only 21-14. Noem had her veto message ready to go. She hit many of the same points made to reporters on at least 3 occasions and were argued by top members of her administration at a Senate committee hearing. Oh, where's her frickin'... Noem explained her decision in a message to the South Dakota House of Representatives. Read that below. Dear Mr. Speaker and members of the House of Representatives, I respectfully return to you House Bill 1191 with my veto. House Bill 1191 is an act to legalize the growth, production, and processing of industrial hemp and derivative products in the state. South Dakota must stand as an example for the rest of the country, not simply go along with others. Our focus must be on leading for South Dakota's next generation. Our state is not yet ready for industrial hemp. Foremost, among the many defects of this bill are the challenges it creates for law enforcement. HB 1191 complicates law enforcement searches and provides a ready-made defense for those breaking other or our drug laws. This poorly drafted bill changes the definition of marijuana with little regard for the implications elsewhere in our code. It would create uncertainty for prosecution under our ingestion statute. See our last episode about the ingestion statute, because the source of THC is placed in doubt when industrial hemp products that contain small amounts of THC, such as I never can say this thing right, cannabidiol or CBD, are legalized. As governor, I will not leave it to our courts to interpret how this bill impacts our prohibition on the active ingredient in marijuana, and I do not believe the legislature intended to complicate enforcement of our ingestion statute in this way. I'm going to end it there. So, South Dakota, our governor's a moron. Good God. Our governor is a moron. Let's look at it like this, okay? First of all, I don't know the ins and outs of this. All I know is what I've been hearing around the farms, and that is that Trump has not been very good to our farmers. And a lot of the tariffs that he's been doing and all the fucking weird shit that he's been doing with overseas and stuff like that is screwing with our farmers, and they had to get bailed out bad. This is what I'm pretty sure has been going on in the ways of farming. Well, here's the deal, South Dakota. Hemp coming from a marijuana plant will boom our economy. Okay? And let's just not just talk about hemp. Let's talk about recreational and medicinal marijuana and hemp. All 3 of those things combined into one discussion here. Okay? Hemp, if it's just the hemp that we're going for, let's go for it, because A, it gives our farmers something else to manufacture. It gives us more growth. Okay? Otherwise, you're just saying, well, you stick with corn and soybeans. Sorry. You know, it's giving our farmers another leg up and another way to make money in this country, in this world. Their own personal American dream, if you would. It's going to help people. Okay? It's not going to hinder anybody. Okay, and she's saying that that the law enforcement and everything like that has to distinguish between things and stuff like that. And how do you take it? I read another one where she was explaining it as, as to like the transportation of it and how that would go about and all this stuff. And it's like, woman, let's just try it. I mean, let's just try it. You want to grow South Dakota. Okay, and she's talking about not going along with others and being an example for our country. Dude, marijuana is a joke in this country. Okay, it's a joke. Everywhere you look, there's celebrities, politicians, authors, everybody that there's so much of the population of people that are looked up to in this country and are entrepreneurs, people who are making money for our country, people who are bringing money into our country that smoke weed. Oh my God. But no, we can have all the beer that people want around here. Give me a fucking break, South Dakota. Come on. If you legalized recreational, medicinal, and hemp right now, if you legalized those three things right now, then we are setting an example for the country. Okay? We're ahead of the curve. We're joining the however many other states have it legal. And guess what, Kristi? They haven't burned to the fucking ground yet. Okay? All these states that have legalized medicinal, recreational, hemp, all that stuff, just look at their numbers. Look at the numbers of how much money that is bringing into their state and how much money it's saving them in the criminal justice system, as well as in places like Worthmore that are government funded and all this shit, man. Like, there's all these different government things that have to do with marijuana that wouldn't have to be dumping money into that anymore. Regulate it just like alcohol. South Dakota we bleed beer in this fucking state. Okay? God knows how many gallons of alcohol are consumed during the rally alone. The Sturgis Motorcycle Rally every August. What? I mean, did prohibition work? No. And people look back on that and say, that was kind of stupid. What? I just watched Reefer Madness last night. We were sitting there and I saw it and I was like, you know what? Let's fucking watch Reefer Madness. If you don't know what Reefer Madness is, it is a movie made back in the 30s. God, I think it was like 38. About the dangers of the dreaded marijuana, spelled with an H in there instead of a J. And the country still has it in their minds that this is like a drug that's going to like wipe out the entire fucking civilization. And people are like, okay, it's a gateway drug. There's a lot of things that are gateway drugs. Honestly, Bud Light is a gateway drug to harder alcohols for me. If I get a little bit drunk on beer, I want to do some turkey. Alcohol is a gateway drug. Okay? And you want to know what? Just like I said in the last podcast, the one about to protect and serve, or to serve and protect. There are certain things out there that are addictive. There are certain things out there that are habit forming. And there are certain things out there that are, detrimental to your health and everything like that. But the thing is there are people out there. There's a huge population out there that can do these things, not to excess, but to do them in moderation. To sit there and say, I can smoke a joint and be perfectly fine with my day. Or I can drink a beer and be perfectly fine, not having any more. Okay, I can go out this weekend and smoke 2 or 3 cigarettes and another one won't touch my lips for months. There are people who are on diets because they have weight problems and they lost all this weight and they are able to have one cheat day and not go any further than that and stick to that. That is a huge population of the people. Okay? There are people out there that I have met that can smoke meth and not have it be a huge issue. They've done it, once or twice and it didn't really do much for, hey, I got stoned, but I mean, it wasn't something I had to run out and go do, and that's one of the reasons why I was kind of swore off, like, really, really hard drugs and stuff like that when I was younger was because I was just like, I'd probably like it a lot and I probably would want to do it again. And that's, that self-control is what that is. Okay? So bullshit on your whole marijuana is a gateway drug. There's a lot of gateway drugs out there that are perfectly fucking legal. Okay? So bullshit on that. The industrial hemp bill needs to be put through because hemp can be used to help out with the green stuff that needs to happen with our nation, with our world. Hemp can, put to bed a lot of different manufactured items and manufactured products that are killing the environment. Whereas with hemp, it's another alternative that is environmentally a better solution. And let's talk about medicinal marijuana. Let's talk about how many people that kind of stuff helps out when it comes to seizures, and it comes to Parkinson's disease, and it comes to arthritis and stuff. You know what? I'm going to tell this story. And when I was younger, probably about 2003, 2004, when my grandparents were still alive. Well, actually, no, my grandparents were still alive. Oh wait, my grandpa had passed away. That's right, my grandpa had passed away. My grandma was still living in her house, and I went over to her house and I asked, hey grandma, how you doing? This is a woman, in her 90s. I was like, how you doing, grandma? And she goes, oh, not very good, Tone. She said, I don't have an appetite anymore. I don't like eating. My hands hurt. My arthritis is killing me, and I just can't sleep. And I looked at her and it's my grandmother, and she's in pain. And she's 90 years old, sitting in the house by herself. Her entire life has died, pretty much. Everybody in her life that she has known, that from her childhood on up, pretty much, except for the people that she has produced and the relationships that's produced out of that, everything is gone. Here's this little woman sitting in her house, not knowing what the hell to do with herself, and yet she's also in pain, she's unhappy, and all this stuff. Guess what? Marijuana could have helped. It would have given her a taste for food again. It would have given her the ability to hold the spatula or to hold the ladle and to make the food, and her hands wouldn't be hurting, and she wouldn't be hurting going up and down the steps. It would have made her a little bit happier about her situation. And you want to know what? When it was all done, she'd pass the fuck out. She would sleep like she never slept before. And I asked her, I said, Grandma, have you ever thought about this? And the look in her eyes, she looked at me. And I saw it in her eye that she was interested. But then she said, oh no, Tom, what would everybody think? I was like, Grandma, what the hell do you screw what everybody else thinks. You're 90 years old. I told her this too. This is like verbatim what I said to her. I was like, Grandma, screw everybody else. You're 90 years old, man. You're sitting in your house. What's anybody going to say about it? Like, you don't go anywhere. All you do is you go get your hair done. You go to church. That's it. Sometimes maybe to the grocery store. Nobody's going to care, Grandma. I want to help you. And she thought about it a little bit more. And then she said, I just can't, Tone. I just can't. And you want to know why my grandma couldn't? It was because of fucking people like Kristi Noem. It was because of people out there that horrify this make this into just such a shit show of a bad thing. And it doesn't have to be. I've seen videos online of kids that have terrible seizures and just disabilities that make them hit themselves and stuff. And my son had a bad spout of seizures for a while there. And you watch these videos. It was never brought up with my son. He had it for about a year, and the pills seemed to kind of wean it away, and then I think he might have just grown out of it. Fingers crossed, man. But I see videos of these kids out there that are in pain mentally and physically. You see a video of, a little girl sitting there and her dad's holding her and she can't stop hitting herself. She just can't stop. Whatever it is inside of her brain making her do that. And at the same time, she's screaming. And then they put a vaporizer mask on her face and let her inhale it for about a minute or two. And they take it off and she sits there calmly. And she just rocks back and forth. And she hugs her dad. And you can just tell she's in bliss. And there's other people out there on the recreational side that don't like getting fucked up beyond all recognition. They don't like getting completely fucking shit-faced. They don't even like catching a little bit of an alcohol buzz. All they want to do is just sit down at the end of their day and watch a movie, curl up with their sweetheart, hang out, do whatever, sit around the fire, whatever. American things. And they want to smoke a joint. And they end up getting arrested for it. A totally and completely nonviolent crime. People are losing their lives for this, man. And South Dakota, my God, man, if we aren't thought of as backward ass as fuck anyway. I know you're not supposed to care about what other people think, but guess what, man? There are states out there that still don't think we have cars. Everybody thinks we're a bunch of cousin fucking hillbillies. The only thing that they can think of when it comes to South Dakota is, isn't that where Mount Rushmore is? Or then maybe that's North Dakota. I don't even know. South Dakota is not known for anything good. North Dakota is only known for that fucking movie Fargo. And that was a great movie, but it was some heinous fucking shit going on. South Dakota has the opportunity right now to be ahead of the curve and to show America that, hey, we get it. Let's just do it and see what happens. And you want to know what? If the fucking earth starts burning because of it, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of hepped up people because they're hepped up on the drugs out there, then yeah, let's do something about it then. Let's put those laws back into place. But what's the harm in trying? Because how much money did Colorado make just last year alone? Like over $1 billion? That can be going to our roads. That can be going to our reservations out there, helping them kind of pick it up a little bit. And it can be going towards people with developmental disabilities and the people that work with them. It could be going to our nursing homes. How many fucking nursing homes in this state are closing right now? Because there's just no money. There's just no money for it. All these little things like Shopko Hometown and all these little things are closing down. Well, guess what? If we legalized this shit, just like Colorado has, I'm talking recreational, medical, and fucking hemp. Do you have any idea how much more tourism we would have in all sides of the state? Not just Sturgis, not just the Black Hills, not just that tiny little bit of a moneymaker there. It is so obviously a good idea to do this. And I'll bring them on the couch. I'll put them on the couch right there, and we will talk about this, and I will debate this till I'm fucking blue in the face, because this is ridiculous. Kristi, when you got into office, one of the things that you said was you wanted to advocate like $54 million or something like that to things like the nursing homes and people with developmental disabilities in our state-run facilities about that and everything. Well, where the fuck are you getting that money? Our legislatures, our state government has to go against her on this. And we need to legalize this shit already. Not just on a state level, but a federal level. But we need to start with the states, because if 40 states out of 50 legalize it, the federal government's going to go after it. Okay? It'll drop down the amount of for all you Republicans out there that are sitting there digging your heels in about this fucking border wall and all the drugs that come over, then the first thing you should be thinking of is, well, if we could just legalize one of them, legitimize it, make money off of it, then they'd stop bringing it over. There you go. Right there. Problem with the marijuana solved, coming over the border. Okay? I can talk about legalizing all drugs because I am a personal proponent of that. I think that somebody should come out there and say that. Finally, a politician needs to say, putting a substance into your body should not be illegal. We should not be able to tell you what you can do with your body. It's what you do with your body while you're on the substance is what we have to worry about. And if people are able to sit there and have recreational alcohol all over this country, legalized in all 50 fucking states, and the fucking place hasn't burned to the ground yet, okay, then what's to say that we shouldn't just legalize it all? All of it. Just legalize it. And if people have addiction issues, they have addiction issues. There are people like me who will sit there and say, no, I don't have to do that, even though it's legal. I'm just sick of this, man. I'm really sick and tired of how long it's been and all of the changes that have happened to America for the good. Women's suffrage, black people being able to vote, black people no segregation, no slavery. African Americans out there are fucking running this country in certain ways. There's a lot of entrepreneurs out there. There's, it's not like it used to be. Gay people have more rights. The LGBT community has more rights. But the thing is like ever since Trump got into office, it seems like the dominoes have been falling backwards. And I swear to God, man, I cannot wait. I cannot fucking wait until that orange asshole is out of the presidency. Because I'm putting it out right now, man. I predicted that guy was going to win long before anybody else did. My dad used to say, no, he'll never win, Tony. I'm like, well, who are you going for, Dad? He's like, Bernie Sanders. I'm like, Dad, no one's going to vote for a guy named Bernie. Okay? I'm like, this guy's going to win. I don't want him to win, but this guy's going to win. That's how fucked up our nation is. And my dad just kept saying, no, he's not, Tone. No, he's not. Just dismissing me like everybody else does about everything. And then the motherfucker won. Whatever. But I predict it, man. 2020. Somebody is going to get in there. Somebody is going to nudge their way past that asshole and get into the presidency. And I think that it's all going to start getting better. I think that the environmental issues are going to become less because they're actually going to start doing stuff like this Green New Deal. I think that it's going to start stacking a different way now. And I mean, I'm not saying that we need to end all Republicans, but we need to end Trumplicans. Because there is a significant difference between a Republican and a Trumplican. Republicans have done some very good things for this country. And yeah, some of them are greasy shits, but there's some greasy shits in the Democratic Party too. But I'm just saying that Donald Trump is not a Republican. Donald Trump is a Trumplican, and all of his little minions out there are Trumplicans. And once we get past that and we get somebody else into that seat, it's gonna start getting better. We needed Donald Trump. We needed Donald Trump to come in. Donald Trump will eventually make America great again. And how is he going to do that? By representing everything that we need to fight against. We needed this. We needed this villain to come along to show us the dark side so we could fight for the light. And people like Kristi Noem, who support the border wall and all of Trump's shit, people like that are going to be a thing of the past here very soon, as long as people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and other people. I want to say Bernie, but Bernie's been in there for so long, but I just want to see the millennials come up and put an end to all this old white bullshit. Because that's all it is anymore. We're on the last cusp of this. Like the old white baby boomers and stuff like that, they're all going to be gone soon. They're going to be too old to hold office. It's coming. And I can't wait for it, man. Because South Dakota needs it. The nation needs it. The world needs America to be better. But I love this fucking state. You know, and all I've ever wanted to do was live out in the Black Hills. But my wife says, you know, if we're moving anywhere, we're moving out of this fucking state. And I'm sick of that. I'm sick and tired of hating where I come from, but loving it at the same time. I'm just sick and tired of having such a bad feeling when it comes to what the state that I was born in and grew up in, sort of. I came back to South Dakota after Missouri because I missed it. And now that I'm back here, it just seems like it's just getting real dark. Darker than it ever has been. But there's light on the horizon. There are people out there that need to come up. And they will come up. The old white guys are going to be leaving soon. And Kristi Noem, she is just, God, dude, it's only March. And she has proved to a lot of people in this state, Republicans and Democrats, that she's not a very good decision maker. She doesn't have everybody's values. And she doesn't have the population of South Dakota in her best interest. She's out there for herself. And for the money that she's made from shaking hands with the right fucking rich people to get where she's at. And I would not say this, really. I really don't want to say this, but I'm going to say this. But who did she fuck to get that position? I'm sorry. But that's how it seems, man, because she's just made bad decision after bad decision. And it's not because I'm a Democrat or a liberal or anything like that. It's because they're just bad decisions. For the state of South Dakota, they're just bad decisions. You know, and that's what we need to look at, is we need to not look at Republicans or Democrats. We need to look at good decision versus bad decision. Good idea, bad idea. Back to the Animaniacs shit. Good idea. Fucking legalizing a plant that can save your state. Bad idea. Keeping the state the same way. And the farmers get poorer, and the people get poorer, and the wages get poorer. It's a lot of shit, man. It's a lot of shit. And I really wish that I didn't have to talk about this. I really wish that I could be on here talking about, oh my gosh, victory. You know, something happened that's going to start growing like a weed. A good weed. I'm just sick of it, man. You know, I just want our state to look the way I feel it should look. It's such a beautiful state. And, you know, we fucked over the Native Americans just so much. And we could be doing so much more to help out the poor and disenfranchised in our state. and the Native Americans and just the lower income people in our state should not be starving. Nobody in our state should be starving. And you want to know what? If we legalized all this shit right now, nobody would be starving. I'm Tony Tubes. This is the Dakota Podcasting Experience. We are now on Anchor as a podcasting platform. And supposedly it's supposed to start throwing it out to like iTunes and Spotify and all that kind of stuff too. So that's cool. I'll update you guys a little bit more. I'm still kind of learning the ways of Anchor right now. So, where's my stuff at? There it is. You can email us at DakotaPodcasting@gmail.com if you want to talk about sponsorship, being on the show, or you just want to throw me an email to talk about how much you think I suck. You can hit us up on Twitter and Facebook at Dakota Podcast. Yeah. So, and we are on, we're on Facebook, Dakota Podcasting Experience. We're on, make sure you click the subscribe button in the corner. Subscribe to our channel. We'll talk about more stuff. I'm currently working on getting some more mics so I can actually have some guests sit on the couch. And I need to, this part's all done. But if you saw the other side of my room here, it's pretty bare. I need to get some stuff on the walls and everything. So thanks for listening, guys. I just needed to get that off my chest. And this comes from a very personal place. Whether it be my son struggling with seizures or my late grandmother struggling with, being old, I have a past when it comes to it. And the only darkness that ever came from that past was the couple times that I was spoken to by the authorities about it. Other than that, a lot of relationships blossomed over it. In an indirect way, I probably wouldn't have met most of my, best friends if I hadn't have, met this person, went this place, to do this and do that, and met some of the greatest people of my life during a time in my life where I utilized such things for recreation. And I just want to say that it's not the devil. I've looked the devil in the eye, and he wasn't stoned. Dakota Podcasting Experience, Tony Tubes, signing out, 3/11/2019, 10:26 in the PM. Peace and love, everybody.